Hello, everyone. My name is Cassidy, and I would like to welcome you to Fun on the Farm Friday of Ag Literacy Week with the Pennsylvania Friends of Agriculture Foundation. So today we will get to listen to a story and we'll get to meet Rick and Chuck and see Chuck's farm. We'll learn about how to make ice cream and how cows are involved with that, and it'll be super cool. So today you will get to ask questions from Rick and Chuck. If you have any questions, there is a little chat box. Please type your questions throughout the session as you think of them so you don't forget, and we will be sure to answer them later during the Q&A. So with that, first we will be reading and listening to a story called Chuck's Ice Cream Wish. Sorry, I just forgot its name. So let's take a look at that.
Today we are reading the tales of the Dairy Godmother, Chuck's Ice Cream Wish. I want to thank Feeding Minds Press for allowing us to read this virtually today. I hope you enjoy this book, because I know everybody loves ice cream, don't you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice cream is the best.
It is the best, so Chucky, did you take out the trash yet? Yeah, last week he said. Charles, no chores, no ice cream. I wish I had all the ice cream I could ever eat. Poof. Ah, a bug, says Chuck. Where? Hey, you have wings and... Let's start over, Chuck. I'm your dairy godmother, and I'm here to make your dairy dreams come true. What? Wait, you mean you're going to grant your dairy wish? Yes, I am. Poof. Wow, cows. Cows are awesome. But where's the ice cream? Cow's milk is where ice cream begins. Stick with me, Chuck, and your reward will be sweet and creamy. Okay, I guess, said Chuck. Delicious. Let's go. First, we clean the cows. Then we hook them up to these tubes. This machine does the milking for us. See how they're hooked up to the milk machine?
Yeah.
This seems like a big chore. Wait, where's all that milk going? Milk's flowing into these storage tanks. They'll keep it cold so it doesn't go bad. Okay, so is it ice cream yet?
No.
Not yet. Now we need to wash the floor. Wash the floor? Who am I? Cinderella? Poof. Ha, very funny. Chuck's in a dress now like Cinderella. It's all clean. Now ice cream? Not yet. Now we have to test the milk. Test? It's just milk. How can it study? Not that kind of test. To make sure it's healthy, we test the milk for different things, like its temperature. What if it fails? We throw it away then. Throw it away? But all that work? Don't worry, this batch of milk is perfect. Ooh, let's celebrate with ice. Not yet, says the fairy godmother. Now it's time to check on the cows. But what about the ice cream? Great milk for yummy ice cream comes from healthy cows. Help me check their food and water. What's this weird stuff? That's their food. Cows eat things like grass and grains. Farmers, nutritionists, and veterinarians make sure their cows eat a healthy diet. All this eating's making me hungry. Isn't it ice cream time yet? Not yet, but almost. Just one more chore. Take this shovel. Cow pies? Poop? Yuck. That's it. This isn't ice cream. This is work. I didn't wish for chores. I wished for ice cream. Chuck, you wished for all the ice cream you could eat, right? No better way to see where ice cream comes from than to do everything a dairy farmer does. Phew, I think I need a nap. Moo. Wait, what's that noise? A calf. Maggie's a new mom. Giving birth to a calf means she begins to make milk. I guess cows really do need us to take care of them. And if we get ice cream out of it, that's like sprinkles on the top. Exactly, Chuck. Now follow me. We have one more thing to scoop. Oh no. Surprise! You've worked hard, Chuck, and you've earned this. Ice cream. Yum. May I have more? This is the best I've ever tasted. Not yet. First we've got to milk the cows. What? But we did that already. Cows need to be milked 2 or 3 times a day, every day, on weekends and holidays. Later on, wow, making ice cream is a lot of work. It certainly is, but this ice cream tastes so good. I think it's extra delicious because I helped make it. You know what, Chuck? I think you're going to make a very good farmer. Poof. What are you doing, Chucky? I'm taking out the trash. Mom, if you knew how many chores went into making ice cream, trust me, this is nothing. There he is, eating his big bowl of ice cream, and the dairy godmother chalks another one up. The end. Are we ready for some ice cream now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go get some.
Ice cream's the best. Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting of a story, and it's pretty cool to see how ice cream is made. But behind Chuck in the book, there's also a real ice cream farmer named Chuck. So we are going to get a chance to see a little bit of his farm. So let's go ahead and tour his farm.
Welcome to a real live dairy farm. My name is Chuck. Some people call me Chucky the ice cream farmer. These are my girls. Cows are just like big dogs. They just take a little more work. Calves are babies. We love our babies. So it's feeding time. Babies have to have their milk. Done. Takes a lot of big machines to run a farm. The coolest thing is that I can run a tractor. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Things on the farm are rolling. You know how your mom always said you gotta eat your vegetables? Well, cows do too, so I'm planting the corn so they can have their vegetables. Here's the corn. It's super sweet. The cows love it, and it makes great ice cream. So cows have to be fed twice a day. So here comes the food. And here comes the cows. You do know milk comes from a cow. Welcome to the milking parlor where we milk our cows. The milk from a cow comes from the udder. And you put the milker on, takes about 3 minutes to milk a cow. So being a dairy farmer is not the easiest job in the world, trust me. It's every day. The cows must be milked twice a day. Christmas, Easter, it's your birthday. You've got to be here to milk morning and evening. Whew, the chores are done. Let's go have some fun. It's time to make the ice cream. Follow me. This is where all the magic happens. We're churning up and turning it blue. This is better than Disneyland. It's magical. Yum. The best part about being a dairy farmer is you get to eat all the ice cream. And that's why they call me the ice cream farmer. Thank you, cows.
So that was pretty cool to also get to see a little bit of Chuck's farm in real life. But what's even cooler is now we'll have the opportunity to meet the real dairy farmers, Chuck and Rick. So, Rick and Chuck, would you like to join us and say hello?
Good morning, guys.
Good
Hey, good
morning.
morning, Cassidy, and all those great students out there watching this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So today we will get to ask both Rick and Chuck some questions. Now remember, type your questions in the chat box so we know what you want to hear about. So Rick and Chuck, we do have a couple questions already. So it looks like first, how do you learn how to milk the cows?
Well, I grew up on a dairy farm. My dad and mom milked cows, so I was milking cows when I was 7 or 8 years old. We learned a lot. Things have changed over time. So back then, we milked in a stanchion barn where we moved equipment and it was a little more labor intensive. We've moved from that barn into a milking parlor, which is less labor, but you still have to do it every day. And within the last 2 months, we put in robots, which is right behind me. And there's no labor involved with that. And they milk 24 hours a day. Lots of technology.
Yep, I was the same way. My parents taught me ever since I was little. Grew up on the farm and always was around cows and enjoyed them and learned from my parents and loved the lifestyle.
Very cool. So lots of experience, definitely. And that's pretty cool to have it come from your family as well. How often do you check on the cows each day, like aside from milking them?
Well, so technology, I get alerts from the phone. We have cameras that watch all the areas where they are calving. We have cameras that watch the milkers. So checking on the cows used to be a trip to the barn. Now it's just picking up your phone and seeing.
And I'm still a little old fashioned. We still have the high stall barns and calf pens and stuff. And we're at least going through twice a day, feeding, even more times, just working through, making sure everybody's good and healthy and safe. So
Very good, very good. Um, how do you know if you should milk them? 2 times a day or 3 times a day? And what time do you milk them if you do it 3 times a day?
Well, again, with robots, cows that have just had a calf, they have more milk and the urgency to milk is more on them. So we have cows that are being milked 3 and 4 times a day, and they know based on the pressure that they feel in their udder, they'll enter the robot and they'll be milked more. Cows at the end of their lactation will not need to be milked so often, so they're generally being milked 2.6 times a day.
yep. And with us being still in the tie stall, we milk them twice a day. We first milking in the mornings at 6 o'clock. I'm usually up before that to feed them, make sure they have their early morning breakfast bright and early. And then we usually milk them again 5 o'clock in the evening. So it's usually a pretty long day for us.
Wow, speaking of which, how do you get a day off? What if you want to go on vacation?
Well, that's a good one. So as a dairy farmer, we've always been accustomed to not getting a lot of days off. I have hired help that they have set days off. I generally take some time off. It's not dictated by a certain day. I used to be president of Maryland Farm Bureau and I was gone a lot, so I had my time there. Now it's more like if I want to get in a car and go see something, I'll do whatever I can do or need to do.
Yep, and I'm very fortunate to have 2 sons helping me at home. So it does give me some time because I am president of the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. So I do have time to I have to be away for my duties there, but we sort of plan among ourselves what days we can take off, different activities. Usually a whole family activity is a little more hard to do, but once in a while we do try to do a whole family activity for a day or two and have some friends come over and help us out at the farm. So
Very cool. And get some help from everyone. That's very nice. Good to spread it out. So, how did you both become farmers? Why did you choose to go into that?
You go first, Ricky.
I mean, I grew up on a farm. I always loved the animals, always being able to get out and work with them, take care of them, with the rest of the farm too, being able to plant the corn and watch it grow and then harvest it in the fall and then feed it to them, throughout the year. So it always has been in my, you sort of say in your blood that, you grew up with it and you loved the life of it.
I was a little different. I obviously grew up with it. I went to college, went to University of Maryland, and I became a teacher, believe that or not. And that was all cool until I taught kids. And kids are challenging, as you all know. All you teachers out there are laughing right now, but all the moms and dads that are home and zooming with their kids all day, and then, you understand. And the calling for me to come back to the farm was stronger than what I realized when I was in college. The toughest part about being a dairy farmer is the 24/7. And as you know, when you're in college, the last thing you want to do is work every day. You want to go party and have fun, do all those things. But the lifestyle is really cool on the farm, and I really had a passion for ice cream.
Very good, very good. So, we do have a question about being able to see the milking parlor. So that would be nice to do in a little bit. Um, but but right before that, how many cows do you guys have?
So right now we're milking about 110. We have 307 or 8 animals on the farm, so they're various sizes. Um, so yeah, we were milking more, but we kind of cut back.
Yep, we milk about 70 cows and have about 130 on the farm. We weren't quite as big as what Chuck was, but we're a little smaller operation, and that's what we have.
Very cool. And one more question before we switch over to the parlor. Why do cows make milk? Where does that come from?
Wow, that's a really good question. Why do people make milk? To feed your babies. So we've all had babies, the cows have babies. It's nature's way of perfect food. So they make milk to feed their babies, and they also make milk to feed us. And you got to have that ice cream.
Very important. All right. So would it be a good time to see the area where you milk a cow?
Is there a cow in there? No. If I can go put a cow in there for you. If you, Rick, you take over, I'll put a cow in there and we'll watch that happen.
Well, sound good. I'll just sit to the side here a little bit so we can watch Chuck get the cows in. So
Very good. So while we're going to get a cow, how about some other questions? Do you think it's fun to milk cows? And do you ever still milk them by hand completely?
it's fun milking cows. I mean, like Chuck has this robot here now to milk the cows for him, but we still have the milkers that we put on individually, and milking a cow by hand is a lot of work. That's why farms have actually gotten bigger, because they've become automated. To milk a cow by hand, you have to have really strong hands, and it takes probably a good half hour if you were to milk a cow out by themselves, because they're making so much milk right now. They usually make anywhere from 8 to 10 gallons a day. So that takes a lot of hand labor to do that. So you wouldn't be able to enjoy the milk you had or the ice cream that you enjoy if everything was done by hand yet. So
I don't like milking cows by hand.
I think Chuck's got a cow moved in there now.
Yeah.
I think he might get a little closer to it. Yep. I think right now the machine is washing the cow off, cleaning it up.
Yeah, that takes about 77 seconds. So it will wash all 4 quarters and pre-strip, which means it takes a little bit of milk out of each quarter. And usually that pre-strip milk is the, I don't want to say the worst, but the first few strips need to be taken out so you have a better quality of milk. So it'll go through and do that, and then it'll put the units on one at a time. So while it's doing that, you all can watch and ask questions at the same time.
Very cool. Can you milk the cows if they're sick, or what do you do if they're sick?
Good question. And obviously you've heard me coughing. We all get sick and we have to perform our duties. So when these cows get sick, so ours are unique because they have transponders on. We're measuring body temperatures. So if something gets out of kilter, it will automatically put her into a sick pen, send a note to my smartphone that body temperature's low or high, somatic cell count's a little different, and she's in pen for this reason. So the machine tells us a lot about why she's sick.
Yep.
So
It's
before
putting the milker on right now.
you had, yeah, so you can see it's putting the units on, and it has a camera on there. It's searching, and you can see them go right on. Very cool process.
Yeah.
A lot of technology there. We need kids that learn technologies to help us old dudes out, because keeping these machines running is more about computer science, technology, and that kind of stuff.
But yeah, Chuck was saying about, you were asking about sick cows. Yeah, usually sick cows usually still continue to produce milk, so we have to make sure we milk them twice a day yet. They may produce a little bit less, but you know, if there's something actually wrong with the milk, it will not go into the tank for you guys. It'll be thrown away until the cow's feeling better. You know, if we have to treat her with an antibiotic, like everybody, you know, will, you know, if you're sick and you go to the doctors and he gives you an antibiotic, we have antibiotics for the cows also, and there's certain withdrawal times. If we give a cow some antibiotics to make her feel better, that milk is thrown away and it's tested to make sure it's clean of anything before it's put back into the tank.
Makes sense. That's awesome. Could we see the cow's face? We have a request.
Yes, so I saw that. It's really hard to see a face in here. Her face is in her feed bowl, like your dog at home. Usually when the dog's eating, you don't see their face. But we can go out in the barn and you can see the cows in their environment and do all that. And certainly we can walk around and show you the cows.
That would probably be very cool, I think.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other animals on your farm, or do you grow any plants to feed the cows or anything? What else happens?
So we farm about 1,000 acres, corn, wheat, soybean, barley, you know, all kinds of things. Sorghum, mainly to feed the cows. Some of that is residual for cash crops. We have cats. We always, when we do tours, kids ask how many cats we had. We had 76 at one time. I don't know how many we have now. I think there's less. We got them all spayed and neutered. So we have a horse, my girlfriend's horse. Other than that, no random animals. Dog, cats. Oh yeah, we have a bear and a couple skunks.
So besides the cows, we also have 100 sheep on the farm. Other diversifying our incomes, and like Chuck, we grow the corn, soybeans, and and hay for the cows. But I also have a greenhouse too that I'm starting to grow vegetables for the local market. We have tomatoes and peppers and some herbs that we're planning on growing. So.
Oh yeah, I saw a good question. We do have beef cows. We raise Angus and we sell Angus at our ice cream shop.
Very cool, very cool. So talking about ice cream, um, can we maybe see a little bit of the ice cream parlor eventually?
If
And
Emily's down there, yeah, I don't know if they're making ice cream this morning or not, but there's videos of that.
we do have another question while Emily's getting ready. Why do you have the other animals? Why are they around?
Wait, what was the question?
Why do we have other
Why do you-
animals? Just with my sons back home, and they enjoy the cows, but they wanted to get into some other animals, and sheep was one of them. We've had pigs on the farm before, also.
We used to have turkeys, so we grew 140,000 turkeys a year. Been through that. That's a tough business also. Marginal return to investment. So there we have Emily. She's outside. If you want to go to that shop, she'll talk and tell you what's happening.
Hi guys, we're down here at our ice cream shop. You can see it kind of looks like a barn. We want everyone to know we are a real farm. You can see our tractor out front that helps make the connection that we are a cow to cone operation. So we'll walk over here to the front door. Now, obviously with COVID, things are pretty different. We used to have tons of people inside. This was our customer service area, but now we actually have a drive-through and a walk-up window. But you can see all our toppings here. You can see our menu back there. And we're getting ready to start the day here. So you can see our ice cream case with all the flavors. We usually have 24 different flavors for everyone to try. As we keep going. We also have cheese here on our farm. Very excited that we started making that last year. So you can see some different flavors in there. Looks like we're a little low. We sell milk here. This is milk from our cows. That's pretty cool. If people want to take ice cream home besides their cones, we do have pints that they can take home. I believe Chuck mentioned that we also raise Black Angus beef here. So you can see we've got a freezer full of that for people to take. And then we will head down the hallway to the place where the magic happens in the kitchen, where we actually make the ice cream. Now they're not making ice cream today. They did that the last 2 days. But you can see we have some workspace, sinks so that everything's clean. And then over here, a little more workspace. And here is the magic machine that makes it happen. So we take our milk and cream mix, and that is poured in the top of this machine. And then down here in this chamber, it spins and spins and spins for about 6 minutes. Oops. And then the ice cream is ready to come out. And as you saw in our case, we put it in these square, or rather rectangular containers. And that's how we show it to our customers and how we scoop from. We also have milkshakes here. So we have this machine, you just pull a lever and it comes out down here. And then I think the last thing to show you is our soft serve machine. So same thing, it mixes in the top, and then you can grab a lever, pull down, and come out with a nice little cone.
What kind of ice cream flavors do you make?
We have over 100 flavors that we do throughout the year. I'll skip over to our menu here. This isn't updated right now. I would say we have about 80 ice cream flavors. We also have sorbets, and those are dairy-free since some people have allergies or different dietary concerns. And we also have some no sugar added flavors, for people who are worried about that kind of thing.
So how long does it take to make ice cream?
Well, in the machine, it takes about 6 minutes for a batch of ice cream to come out. But they spend about 2 days a week making all our different flavors. Um, I guess from start to finish for one flavor, it might be about an hour.
Very cool. What's the most popular ice cream flavor, and what are all of your favorites?
Let me flip the camera around so you're not just looking at metal and machines. Hi, guys. Our most popular flavor is vanilla. My favorite's lemon cookie crunch. It's a lemony flavor with some cookie crumble in it. And I'm sorry, I forgot what the rest of your question was.
I'm sorry. I think we have some people who are interested in visiting. Where are you guys?
We are in southern Frederick County. So I think everybody today is up in Pennsylvania. If you come down into Maryland and keep on going right before you cross into Virginia, we have our farm right there and our ice cream shop right out front on the farm.
Very cool, very cool. So, do you add the flavors into the machine when you're making the ice cream, or how does that work?
For some, we do. So, for example, like raspberry, we would put the raspberry into that cream mix, mix it all around, and it would go into that ice cream machine I showed you. For other things, think about like cookies and cream. Once that vanilla base of ice cream is made, we actually crumble the cookies by hand and add that in and mix it in with big spoons by hand. So that'll be done afterwards.
That makes sense. Doesn't break down so much.
Exactly.
So, do you get to eat ice cream like all the time?
You know what? As much as I love ice cream, I can get out with just a spoonful at a time. But yes, it's always here and it's always a temptation.
Very cool. So, how did you start making ice cream? Has the farm always sold ice cream, or what made that happen?
Well, I think
No.
Chuck mentioned he was in the, well, I'll let Chuck answer.
Yeah, so we started out as a normal dairy farm, if there is such a thing. We got into turkeys for a while and did that. That was a good venture, but then we had to look at other ways to enhance our income. And although turkeys were great and milk is good, we didn't own that product from beginning to end. And this way, we make the milk, we make the ice cream. At the end of the day, when we hand you an ice cream cone, that's something that came right from our farm and has our writing all throughout. So a lot of times when people go in business, it's sink or swim. It could be good, it could be bad. It's turned out it's been really popular. We had a fantastic year last year. Never dreamed it would be this successful. They were waiting up to 90 minutes to get an ice cream cone last year. So we've been super blessed and super busy. Our number two customer is Washington, D.C. So people drive out of Washington to get our ice cream. We're only 35 miles west of D.C., so we're not terribly far. Um, we're very fortunate to be surrounded with a lot of people down here. Not many cows. Maybe in Pennsylvania there's more cows, less people. But so there's we have that going for us. And when you start a business like that, you don't. So she's looking out the window of my office, and this cow is obviously backing up. Um, they need to go in to be milked. That's a little holding area that you see there. So we can walk out. Obviously, you see a face, though. That's what the question was. Those bars you see in front, the cows can get underneath of those bars and it kind of traps them. They're called one-way gates. So when we close the other gate, they come in and they have to go through the little milking thing to be milked. I'm sorry, digress. So the ice cream business has been good. We don't serve to any other stores. We do it all right here on the farm. We've been asked by restaurants and we've kind of, I don't want to get into the temptation to get big and big and bigger because ice cream is about quality and you'll never taste ice cream like this. So we certainly do invite you to come down. It's not too terribly far away. Rick was just saying it's from Harrisburg, we're about 2 hours, maybe. Depends upon traffic, and we all know how that goes. But people are surprised that there's a dairy out here in with this many people.
Wow, that's very cool. So We do have a couple questions about the cows again. They're so cute. We have some comments. Um, do you help give birth to the cows? Do you help the mom cows along?
Yep, we do. Obviously, the camera in the back, you just saw that. And I mentioned that if a cow is calving, so around these cows' necks, there is an activity monitor that measures how many steps she takes and all of the above. And it tells us when she's in heat. It also tells us when she's giving birth. So you'll get it if you got an alert set on your phone for a birth, it'll tell you that that's beginning to happen. And that's a big help because let's say it's 2 in the morning and you're asleep and you get an alert on your phone, at least you can go pull it up on camera to see if you need an assist. 95% of the cows that give birth don't need any help, but that 5%, it does make a huge difference.
Yep, Chuck's cows have their own Fitbits that we can keep track of. So
We do. We do. Way too much information on these cows.
I'm sure it's helpful. So, how many cows do you have? Excuse me, how many calves do you have right now?
Well, if we milk 130, 140, each one of those cows give birth to a cow a year, give or take. So there's 140 calves being born every year. We have the video that you showed. Those calves are being housed in our old turkey barn, and we have little pens set up. And we are in the process of renovating that now and putting robot calf feeders in. So that will take the calf feeding kind of out of humans and put it into technology. So the chips that we have in their cows' ears, when calves are born, they'll get a RFID number. They'll be put into the pen. They'll come in and actually suck out of the little robot thing, and we can group feed about 50 calves.
Very cool, very cool.
It's all about saving labor. Labor is really hard to get. I was spending about an hour and a half a day, give or take, maybe 2 hours a day feeding calves. Because at any given time, you could have 40 to 60 calves that you have to, I don't want to say bottle feed, but kind of a little special care there.
Wow. Right now, how many people do you have working on your farm?
Well, we had 6 or 7, and now we're down to 2.
Wow.
with myself and my two sons helping me right now. So
Wow, I'm sure anything to save some time was helpful then.
You just can't get labor. Nobody wants that job. They want to dip ice cream and eat that ice cream, but they don't want to do this.
Oh. So, what happens in between milking the cow and getting ice cream? How do you get it there? What happens?
So in our farm, we were going to put a processing plant in. After touring other places that did that, I realized that those plants were purchasing butterfat or, high fat concentrate milk back in. So after going through that process, talking to some people that did it, we decided to have it processed here in Frederick. So our milk goes to Frederick and comes back as a 14% mix or a soft serve mix or whatever. We can change that 14% into whatever we need. So we start with ground zero of our mix, and then we add all the flavors at the shop into that.
Very cool, very cool. A couple other ones. So, how do you know like how much food to give the cows and whatnot? And also, what's the biggest cow? How big is she?
Well, so we feed a total mixed ration. Um, that's all about, the ration is balanced for about 70 pounds of milk. And that means all the forages are put into a giant cake mixer. You put in corn silage, haylage, hay, wheat, barley, roasted soybeans, corn, high moisture corn, soybean meal, canola meal, cottonseed. All those things mount up to this total mixed ration. And then you dump that out in the middle of the barn, and the cows eat that. and it's balanced for their production. Now with the robot, we added another dimension to that. So it will feed a concentrate to that cow based on her production. So it will add to that 70 pounds and get her to 80 or 100 pounds and still have a balanced ration.
Yep. So we work with specialists. They're called nutritionists that help balance our ration for protein and minerals and vitamins and that. Same way with the school. You have your dietitian that puts your lunch meal together. We have a person that's dedicated on our farm, famous Chuck, to put all those ingredients together, the hay, the soybean meal, the corn silage, to make sure that cow gets a balanced diet every day and helps her make milk. So
no fun here. No Pop-Tarts, no donuts, no nothing.
Oh. So we do have, if possible, could we see the cows a little bit more?
Sure.
All right.
Do you wanna, can you, if I leave my mic hot and we go out there, is that cool?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the way we did last time. It worked well. All
Yeah.
right.
We have about,
Yeah, you come on out.
Okay.
You have boots? Yeah, you got boots.
we have about 5 minutes.
5 minutes, walk fast.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah,
while you're
I can hear
walking?
you. Yep.
So do you name all the cows and how do you
I
remember
don't.
their names?
Well, some of them have names. We might not be able to repeat that on air. No, they do. We have certain ones that are named, but most of them are numbers, and now they have an RFID chip, so their numbers went from 3 digits to like 9 digits. I probably lost my. Can you hear?
Yep, I can start too. Hang on.
Can you hear me?
Cassidy, can you hear us?
Can you hear us out here?
We can hear you. And
So
then
you probably lost the number deal. So they have normal numbers, and then the RFID tags have like a 9 or 12 digit number behind them. So here's a girl here. She's a very friendly, a Jersey cross. She's real friendly until you go to touch her. So, like I said in the video, cows are like big dogs. They just want to be loved. That's Emily's cow.
oh. So do you have favorites?
Do you have favorites?
I do. Usually it's about how much milk they give.
Chuck said it's usually about how much milk they give.
My favorite right now is 119. She's given about 115 pounds of milk. Get milk 4 times a day. So today she's my favorite. Who knows? He'll be favorite tomorrow.
Very nice.
So we have just a few more minutes left.
So here is the total mixed ration. That's right now. That's a lot of what we call cover crops. And I'm sure you have that too. That's wheat, barley. There's very little corn silage in this, but there's high moisture corn. And the best part is the smell. You all can't smell that. It's like chewing tobacco with a hint of sugar. Actually, it's like pickles. Pickles, like when you're eating your pickles. Sweet pickles, not sweet. The cows are bedded on lime and sand, and primarily they stay in this barn. We let them out in the springtime, summertime. They can go out, but they typically like it in here because it's cooler. We're doing some major renovations, putting a new roof on. You can see the end of the barn's being torn out. This barn's new. We're putting in new tables, and we're just totally renovating this barn. Hopefully it'll make the cows a little happier.
I'm sure it will. Well, we are about out of time. So for our schools, if you have any questions, still type them in the chat box. We will collect them. And Rick and Chuck will answer them and send them in an email.
The name of the creamery is Rocky Point Creamery. And you go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You look that up and you can see all the flavors and everything you just saw today. You'll see right on social media.
Very good.
So that's better than me.
Very nice. So any last
Thank you guys for
minute
tuning in
words?
today.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Thank you,
Drink your
Chuck.
milk. Eat that ice cream.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining, and we will send out the email that will answer any questions that we did not get to. So thank you again, and like they said, drink your milk and eat your ice cream.
Get the robot is at the next. They don't think it's doing